Hey, what's up everyone? Welcome to my review for Total Recall, which of course is the brand new remake to the 1990 cult classic starring of course Arnold Schwarzenegger and directed by Paul Verhoeven. And I love that movie. It's a very silly movie, so when I heard it was getting remade, I was like, fine, whatever. I don't really care. I mean, they love to remake everything, and of course I'm talking about Hollywood. So why not, remake one of my favorite fun little movies, Total Recall? I don't care. It's not like it's going to offend me. So I was kind of looking forward to it. When I saw the trailer, I was like, wow, that looks pretty good. I have to admit. I mean, Colin Farrell, I'm not sure if he can play Quaid like Arnold Schwarzenegger did, but I'm pretty sure the director doesn't want to portray Quaid as Arnold Schwarzenegger did. So it's going to be completely different. It's not set on Mars. There's no Arnold Schwarzenegger. So yeah, I was still somewhat looking forward to it, especially who was directing it, the guy that did the first two Underworld movies, which are very, very fun movies. I'm sorry, they're fun movies. And also directed Live Free or Die Hard, and probably the best thing he's ever been in, Kate Beckinsale. So, because he's married to Kate Beckinsale. Okay, now story here, if I can explain it quickly, which probably I will not be able to, but I'll try. The story follows a character named Quaid, Douglas Quaid, played by Colin Farrell, who lives in the future. Ooh, and he is a construction worker who works on these like robots who are pretty much like the security bots of the city, and they're pretty much the cops. And he just works out there. He has a really hot wife played by Kate Beckinsale, of course, and he has a good life. Just doesn't have an amazing life. He really doesn't. What Quaid decides to do is go to this place called Recall, where Recall is just this place where you can go and pretty much get a memory that you never had before, just like an alternate reality in a way, where you can become anything. You could be a celebrity, I don't know, an athlete, super spy. He goes there, and of course he's like, I'll be a super spy, whatever, that'd be cool. And because of his dream, of course, and he goes in there, and before he can get into the Recall place, into the little chair, and the needles get stuck in him, freaking just the cops come out of nowhere, just bust down the door, and they want to arrest him. And he, out of nowhere, just starts busting moves and just start whooping ass, and he doesn't know why. So he has to pretty much figure out what he really is, who he is, why is everybody after him, why out of nowhere his wife is trying to kill him. That's pretty much the story. I'm just going to leave it off there. Oh, also, there's a girl that comes in later on, played by Jessica Biel, who helps him out a little bit. I ain't going to spoil anything else. That's the best you're going to get from me for the story. The characters in the film and the story itself is not the best out there. I mean, the characters themselves, Colin Farrell, he does a good job acting-wise, he does, but his character isn't just that memorable or even that badass at times. I mean, sure, sometimes he's like busting moves and stuff, especially that first scene that you see in the trailer where he just pretty much kills like 10 dudes real quick. That's badass, but he never really has that moment again later on in the film. But he's good, he's just not memorable. So aren't any of the other characters. Like you have Bryan Cranston, who plays pretty much the bad dude of the film. He's the bad guy, and he's barely in the film, and when he's in it, he's not all that intimidating. And I mean, Bryan Cranston's a great actor. I mean, I've never seen, I'm gonna get shit for this, I've never seen Breaking Bad, but I've seen him in other films, and I know he's a fantastic actor, and he's good in it, don't get me wrong. He's just not all that memorable. Jessica Biel, she's good in the film, and they have a little romance between Colin Farrell's character Quaid and her, and that's okay. The relationship works okay there, but for the most part she's somewhat bland. She doesn't really do much in the film. And Kate Beckinsale plays, of course, the hot wife that wants to kill Colin Farrell, and she's probably the best thing in the film because she's, oh god, so badass and really hot too. I think I said that in Underworld when I did a review for that a couple months ago, but she is gorgeous and she is so badass. She's probably one of the most, no, you know what, scratch that. She is the most badass actress of all time. If she starts busting moves and started killing people, you'll believe it because she's badass. So yeah, she's great in the film. The rest of the supporting cast does a good job as well. You have Bill Nighy, who comes in real quick as like a resistance leader, and he's alright. You have John Chow, who plays like the head of the Recall company, and for the most part he's alright, but the acting isn't amazing and the characters aren't that memorable, and the story itself, it does have moments where you're like, oh, is this just Recall? Is he like just dreaming pretty much? And it's like, oh, it's kind of screwing with you a little bit, and there's a little cool little segments here and there where it's like, oh crap, is he just screwed up? Is he just like dreaming? And it's cool, but it never really goes through with that whole idea. It never really does. And The ending isn't all that great, to be honest. So overall, the story and the acting and the characters, they're alright, but not amazing. You should be coming into this movie because of two reasons: the action and the special effects, because they are both fantastic in this. I mean, the action, it starts off, it's a little slow, there's not real much action. I mean, it starts off with a little bit of action, but it doesn't get to the real big action until a little bit later, with Colin Farrell beating some ass and stuff, like I said earlier. And when it gets to that, there is plenty of action, there's plenty of variation in the action. Sometimes there'll be like car chases and stuff, and sometimes there'll just be some hand-to-hand fights and some gun fights, and some really cool little set pieces. So when that really kicks off, it really gets going. It's a lot of fun with the action and the special effects. I didn't expect this. It's a $200 million budget. That's almost as much as the Avengers. And the Avengers, it makes sense. That's justified. But here, this movie's not going to make like 25 to 30 million in its first weekend. And it's not going to make close to that budget back after it's all done. But they decide, screw it, $200 million, and it really works. The city itself looks so beautiful, so clean, just so futuristic and nice. It just looks beautiful. It's one of the best looking cities I've seen in a movie in a very long time. And just the special effects with some of the robots and stuff, and some of just the explosions and action scenes, it just really mixes so well with the actual what's going on and stuff. It just looks so good. So you know what, this movie is a lot of fun. It might not have the fun that Total Recall had, like the silly fun with Arnold Schwarzenegger making facial expressions and speaking with broken English, kind of like me, and it might not have that kind of charm, but it's fun because it's just a straight up blockbuster. So go in and check your brain at the door, kinda. You know, story's somewhat smart. It's not dumb, it's just somewhat dumb. And you'll have a fun time. You really will. So I'm going to give this a 29 out of 40. There you go. There's my review. Go check it out. Not a bad game. Not a bad game. It would be an amazing game. Not a bad movie. Very fun. So anyway, thumbs up. 29 out of 40. Thank you and goodbye.